plumbing.
You are listening to the Movie Guys Showcast. Autobots, engage!
Attention. The movie guys love movies. Any attempts to make this week's new movie releases as exciting as the World Cup are purely for entertainment purposes only.
And there is Mark Wahlberg coming around on the side, coming at the down with the ball. He hurt his leg a little bit, but he's still in there. He's coming to the middle. Optimus Prime is there. He gets the ball in the net.
Is that an announcer summarizing Transformers?
I was going to say, is Mark Wahlberg the starting forward for the U.S. team now?
And Optimus Prime.
I'm an Optimus Prime.
And it's only right that you kind of couldn't understand that.
Hell of a left foot that Optimus Prime has.
Yeah, if you're listening to these World Cup guys, the right guys, you're not understanding.
Bend it like Prime.
Indeed.
I've watched one game with you guys and America lost, and I'm done.
I was going to say, I would only watch it to see men take their shirts off.
Then you want goals.
They do, yes.
I want a goal.
I want lots of goals.
The shirts be flying.
Yes, that's it.
Well, the last U.S. game I watched, except for the last 10 seconds, so I'm assuming we won, right? Because I left and nothing could have happened in the last 10 seconds of that game.
Told you.
No, something happened in the last 10 seconds of the game that we were winning.
Doesn't Cristiano Ronaldo sound like a clothing line?
I'm wearing him right now.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
I will say he's a good-looking man. I'm secure enough in my manhood to admit that.
Flex his eyebrows, though, no?
Who here doesn't? I mean, yes, he fruit ball.
I think if you do it, it's good, but you probably should have a professional do it. Now, is that gayer?
No, I don't pluck. I trim, and this is what happened to me. This is how you know you're getting old as a guy. I went in to get a haircut many moons ago, and he, without asking, just decided to trim my eyebrows.
Well, that's when you know you should be embarrassed.
Or gay.
Or gay.
It's hilarious.
I had headshots in Chicago, and they started like taking scissors to peach fuzz, and I was like, oh my God, I should have been doing this all my life. It took me until I was like 23 to figure that out.
I did think it was weird when I had to cut my eyebrows. I was like, is this normal?
No.
But yeah, it is.
It is. I recently had a date with a woman. She's like, who's paying attention to this? And I said, no one. She's like, somebody should, because I guess they get out of control.
Women look at here, and we look at teeth, and you don't want any outgrowth out of nose or ears.
All falling out of here and sprouting from the eyebrows down.
There's a picture of Hillary Clinton because she's thinking of running, for president. So it's a shot of her with the light behind her, so she's silhouetted, and every hair that could pop out, but they're not. Someone's watching out for her.
Oh yeah.
You mean she's peach free?
She looked there's stuff, but it's not unusual. Especially for 68 or however old she is.
Now, if you're ever with a date on a girl and she's like driving a car and she kind of does this, she is shading what she fears is you looking at her peach fuzz.
Oh.
For sure.
I have learned something today.
Well, first and foremost, we're here to inform.
I don't know if you can tell from my weight, but I'm thinking of running.
Hey, listen, welcome to the Movie Showcast, everybody. Let me give you the formal
Did you sit
hello.
on that all week?
Part of the vast and sprawling Movie Guys empire.
Improv.
You've reached ground zero for all things movies and comedy. We bring the two together right here on our show every week with jokes, rants, sketches, characters, bits, special guests, and more as we broadcast from our home away from home, which is actually part of my home, the Admirals Club. They don't stop making movies, so we don't stop making comedy shows about movies, which means you can get a new show every week. Basically, search the Movie Guys anywhere you like on Google or Yahoo or... Bing! And we come right up. iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, Stitcher, and of course, themovieguys.net, absolutely free. And we encourage you to subscribe where you can, and if you do, still no charge.
Jill, you didn't realize you were going to be on all of those things tomorrow, did you?
No, I didn't know I had Zing!
Pretty impressive.
You're on Zing and Bling, and it's so crazy.
Some people have said we're sweeping the internet.
We're at least Swiffering it. Newly posted to themovieguys.net, we finally started posting the lists we came up with on a list episode a little while back. Stephen Lewis was here, and we came up with our favorite comedies of all time, our favorite horror movies of all time.
We listed, for anybody who wants to do it at home, or Jill, when you go home with your husband, go ahead and feel free to. Every movie for every year since you were born, your favorite comedy of that
is
year.
Posted now, yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Chevy Chase would take over a lot of that, I feel like, in the early...
He had a prime season, no question.
Good run.
Although there were some years, would Under the Rainbow be one of your favorites of all time?
Modern Problem.
My Life as a Dog, or whatever that was.
I'm not saying
was
all
he in Chomps?
Chevy Chase movies.
No, Oh Heavenly Dog.
Oh Heavenly Dog.
Was that
However,
Chevy?
Yeah. Wasn't it?
Fletch.
No, that was
Fletch, Vacation, those.
Yeah, yeah.
Those things.
Right.
I think we
Foul
all know what I'm
play.
talking
Foul
about.
play. Does foul play fall in?
No.
What?
No,
I
don't know.
do like foul play.
Is that about soccer?
Seems like old times, though.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Foul play.
Also, hey, you can find us on WBAD.net if you like your internet radio stations. Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern, and JonasMountainRadio.com Thursdays at 6 Eastern. So basically, we're out there. Your hosts for the hardest working podcast on the airwaves include myself, Paul Preston, here with Lee Caius and Adam Witt. Karen Volpe is still up in Northern California working at the Sierra Rep Theater Company for another handful of shows. So sitting in for her the whole show, you've heard her already. Our special guest who's been involved in live comedy for years with the likes of Boom Chicago and Pickups and Hiccups, a comedy show she performed with Seth Meyers, and can, among other things, be currently seen as a regular on the Disney Channel's Austin and Alley.
Oh.
Jill Benjamin is with us.
Jill Benjamin.
Live and in
Hey-o.
person.
The lovely and talented.
You may not recognize me with these headphones on.
The Princess Leia headphones.
Your ears look bigger.
We should get Princess Leia headphones. What are we thinking? We're movie guys.
Oh, that's a good call.
They should be the little Danish headphones. Anyway, we're here as ever to bring you the scoop on what's new this weekend, and they don't get any bigger than Transformers: Age of Extinction.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry about that.
Oh.
Yes, the robots that think their car is based on the toy commercial that thought it was a show return to the big screen in the series of explosions that thinks it's a movie. Plus, it's the first actual week of summer, so who's up for seeing a film about snow?
This chaos. 1,000 people in an iron box. 18 years I've hated a train.
Iron Box. That's a better name
18
for it.
years I've waited for this
Or the
moment.
porno parody.
I eat box.
This is the world. The train saved humanity. The engine lasts forever. Population must always be kept in balance.
So it's like class, structure, and survival in a train that never stops running.
That sounds like every
It
train
sounds
ride
like-
I've been on,
sounds
right?
like the L. Yeah.
Train wreck.
Oh!
Yeah.
Some
there it
people...
is.
I swear sometimes you just read a bad review of a movie and you know they wrote that pun before they even saw the movie.
Totally.
There's some things, you know. Titanic sinks in the drama or whatever. I don't know.
So we'd be fools not to lead off, though, with potentially the biggest film of the summer and start talking Transformers. Now, Jill, I don't want to put you on the spot, but can you name the 2 sequels we've already had to the original Transformers?
I'd say, without really guessing, would be Transformers, I Live, I Machine, I Die.
That was the second one, I
Good
think.
guess.
And then the other ones would be Transformers, I, You, War, Machine. There's got to be Machine always.
Something like that.
Something.
I think that was
I think
an
those were the
album.
foreign translations for
I
most
just
of
looked
the
this
films, I think.
These Transformers sequels are in the top 20 box
For
office
Native
movies of all
Americans,
time.
Yeah.
I, You, Me, Machine.
Machine which talks like Negro.
In the blunderbu straw, putting about the blanches.
Me Wumpum Machine.
I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, they're the top 20 of all
But
time.
I will see this next one because Mark Wahlberg's in it. I mean,
Was that the
box
switch?
office
So this has
grab.
changed you around.
You're gonna grab.
That's
I
what
don't
you
think he
needed.
takes his shirt off, though. You were mentioning earlier.
I think I like in Ted. I like him playing innocent and dumb and believable when he's talking to machines. He did that to like a monkey, right? Wasn't he in one of these?
Did it to a
Planet
monkey.
of the
He
Apes?
wasn't a
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
True.
He did
Unless
it
you
to.
count-
You
unless you
bought
count-
it in Ted. He talked to a stuffed animal, and I feel like talking to a machine. I'd be like, man, he's really good
Talk to
talking
John
that
C. Reilly and Boogie Nights.
I feel like I bet he hates working with people and he likes working with things like, you know, was it CGI? CGI?
CGI.
CGI.
okay.
Computer generated imagery.
I have not seen any of
So
these
then-
either, but I will say every time one of these comes out and there's a preview for it, I'm like, this looks like the greatest thing ever. I don't know why I never actually go see it, but I get so excited about wanting to see.
I'm the exact same way.
You
But
get
I-
excited because he has a hot daughter. Like, did you see the preview?
Oh,
I mean,
is that the
she-
hottie in this one? Is his daughter?
Yeah, and she's like, Daddy. But it's like, how do you not go for that girl?
These movies are kind of interchangeable hotties, right? They just
Yeah,
swapped out that
true.
hottie for the third one, and it was just
True.
like, just keep making the movie.
well, we had
Like, whatever.
Alba, we had Rose Whitley, what's her name?
Well, you had Megan Fox.
Megan
Well, that was
Fox.
Megan Fox.
And
They're
then-
all interchangeable.
But see, that's the thing. I don't know the other girl's name either.
Rose somebody.
She's in one of
Yeah.
the biggest movies ever
Yeah.
made. No clue of the
And
name.
that was the only movie she
Her
did.
name or the name of the movie.
and
No-
Josh Duhamel kind of got phased out. He was in one of these, right?
He was in all of these.
There you go.
Yeah.
Why did he not accept to do it again?
They just swapped out everybody.
Did
Yeah.
they
They
kill
said-
him in the last one?
I don't think any of the good guys died, do they?
No, I think they kept them
movies?
all around like they were going to make a fourth one with them, and then just got rid of all of them, I think. Right? Yeah.
Rose Huntington Wheatley or something? I remember making a joke about
That does sound
her.
right. Yeah. Rose Huntington Whiteley's lips
replaced Jessica Alba, or
Fox.
whatever. Jamie Foxx?
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Presley.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Well, listen, apparently people love watching buildings getting blowed up because there's another Transformers movie out. This time it's Hong Kong and mainland China that serve as the backdrop for destruction in Transformers Age of Extinction. Adam?
Listen to them singing their asses off. I love this version of the song.
80s.
Listen. They're just singing their asses off. This band is called Lion, by the way.
I just love the idea of them going in and making this recording in a studio session and then driving home from Burbank at like 3 in the afternoon, like, oh, crap. Just rocking it out
this
to Transformers.
This guy is going full Striper in this with these vocals.
No, they're driving back from that session going, I have fucking made it. This is it for Lion.
And how many girls in the front row going, roar?
Lion has made it. Yes, I tape recorded this from the credits to the song so I could rock out to it later after I'd watched the movie.
Very nice. Well, like they say, Transformers, more than meets the eye. Unless, of course, your eye has met the first 3 Transformers movies, well, then it's more of the same.
Oh, Paul. America's pretty okay franchise from Hollywood's most tolerated director is back by some demand, with a customary release that has all the advertisements talking about it.
This time the Transformers go laboofless. Something you can't do in Texas, by the way.
Oh, that's true.
By going full Wahlberg.
Full Wahlberg.
Yes, the Decepticons are no match for the undisputed king of white rappers in all of cinema.
Hey, Greg, why don't you go piss your pants again? That was like 8 years ago, asshole. People don't forget.
He's no longer a rapper.
I will never forget Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Mark Wahlberg plays a mechanic who bought a vehicle which turns out to be a Transformer, and then he happens to get tracked down by the government. I can pretty much say that we all agree that's a bad time to be Mark Wahlberg.
It's a bad time, Bob.
Thank you. This movie is directed by Michael Bay, who everybody hates, unless you're going by box office numbers, in which case it's directed by Michael Bay, who everybody loves.
There was a time when Michael Bay had a reputation for directing mindless explosion fests, featuring actors as props, and plots that were nothing more than an excuse to string together special effects. Now he directs Transformers movies.
Yeah! More than meets the eye. Can we get another take on that? I didn't know if I hit it. More than meets the eye.
You know that drummer's just spinning stick.
Oh, that's the first thing he learned. You know it in Lion. That's the first thing he learned. The force is on. All right, guys, we got to wrap this up. I got to go record a G.I. Joe toy commercial.
Oh, can you market that? Oh, can you monopolize that market? Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, yeah.
I did the Micronauts theme.
Tomax and Z-Mots, they're coming to save the day. Or kill the day. But don't take our word for it. Let Michael Bay himself get you excited about Transformers Age of Extinction.
My job as a director is I get to dream for a living. I create visual worlds that are so beyond everyone's normal life experiences. And Hollywood is a place that creates a viewer escape. And what I try to do is, as a director, I try to... I try to take people on an emotional ride.
In your own words, Michael. What? Okay.
His emotional ride at Great America is awesome.
I'm sorry.
His emotional ride.
Yeah.
He's got me all excited.
This is why I always want to go see these movies.
That is right. That, of course, for anybody who doesn't know, that's the clip of him.
So what are the emotions?
Shitting
I'm
the
going to
bed.
cry. I'm going to be scared, happy, and excitement.
Well, it's a roller coaster, so it's tense, tick, 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 tick,
Yes.
tick, in your emotions, right?
Is there
And then you get to the top.
acceptance in this emotional? Like, isn't it? You know, aren't there stages?
I think after the first curve, that's acceptance of the emotional roller coaster. Yeah,
I think it's gonna explode
somewhere.
It's gonna explode. It's gonna explode. It's gonna explode. It explodes, and then it's gonna explode. It's gonna explode. It's gonna explode.
Okay.
And you will vomit.
That seems a ride that just goes up and down.
Is vomit an emotion? All right, here's the official plot description, everybody. Transformers, more than meets the eye. Transformers, robots in disguise. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. Transformers.
Okay, thanks, Adam. Trouble arises when an inventor discovers the substance that the Transformers are made of. Coincidentally, the same thing experimental Doritos are made of.
The arrogance of man decides to use it to build its own Transformers. The arrogance of man is played by Stanley Tucci.
You see, your stupid minds, stupid.
Soon the mad scientist is using the substance to make rip-off Transformers. GoBots, we'll call them. The new Transformers are unleashed to hunt down and eliminate every last Autobot, using their special ability to transform from robot to analogy for intolerance, and back again.
How will the Transformers fight this minute? I guess we'll have to see the movie to find out. Oh, no, wait, it's Dinobots. Mother flippin' Dinobots. Yes, we did it, Western Society. We did it!
And huzzah! We have a new sound effect to induct into the Transformers Hall of Bwong.
Is it huzzah by any chance?
Yeah, I wish. I would love the one. If one of them said huzzah. For the love of God.
Huzzah. Jazz could say huzzah, right? Wheeljack, that's his catchphrase, I think.
Huzzah. Let's listen to Bwong for a second. We all remember Bwong, right?
Hi, Bwong.
I slept with Bwong once.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I knew you met some people.
When he actually comes, he Bwongs.
That's what I would assume.
Can we hear it again? It reminds me of Bwong.
Okay, it's getting hot, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's getting heavy.
Oh, yeah. Come on, give it to me.
Oh, no, how are you going to... Oh, all over my chest. It took weeks to clean up my sheets.
Quite the Bwong.
You remember Brrr? Remember that one?
Brr, yeah.
That guy, not good in bed.
No?
No.
It's in the name. You can tell he's not going to come through at the end.
he does it on his own.
Doesn't
before
seem
he
quite
even
as
starts.
exciting. Yeah. You've dated him too?
When he pulls it out, it makes that noise. It's all over. And then, boom, he's done. I haven't even gotten excited.
Well, speaking of Dinobots, we'd like to welcome whatever the hell noise it is they make into the Transformers Hall of Bwong.
Now that would excite me.
Yeah.
Is that your thing?
That'd get me going. It's long.
That could impregnate you without even being
A woman likes
inside
it
of
long.
you. Yeah.
If you can imagine a man, getting excited for that long, that would be exciting. Yeah, I mean, he's still going.
There's a lot going on
It's like
there.
4 seconds.
And it sounds like an airplane's in there.
Yeah, you're my kind of girl.
Yeah.
My kind of girl. 4 seconds is what takes it.
Hey, there you go.
And it's in stereo. You
Call
can't
me the
come better
marathon
than in
man.
stereo. Transformers, Age of Extinction. Has released 3 separate promotional trailers, and each has its own name. There's Transformers Age of Extinction, Faith, Transformers Age of Extinction, Judgment, and Transformers Age of Extinction, Villain. Seems fitting that a movie about things that can change into other things would have such an identity crisis.
If you haven't been to the movies yet this summer, now's the time to go because this movie's got everything. If Godzilla didn't do it for you, here you've got a Transformer Godzilla fighting another Transformer who kind of looks like one of those Sentinels from the X-Men.
What more do you want? Is this in 3D?
It's a Transformers sequel, isn't it?
There you go. That's pretty much Transformers.
More than meets the eye, you were saying?
That was Transformers War.
I was very close in my guessing of my titles.
Not too bad, right? Age
You
of
weren't
Extinction.
off at all.
They were more yoga, faith, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was more than my machine.
Yeah, Transformers Age of Extinction. Mantra.
Judgment,
Faith, Judgment, and Villain. Yeah,
Those
that's
are
like,
so yoga terms.
yeah. That's going to get the 12-year-olds all excited. Did you go and see this? They're going anyway, right?
Yeah.
This movie makes $100 million opening weekend. Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Again,
I
want to
don't
see
know.
it.
Boys are going because it's Machine, and women are going because it's Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like Shia LaBeouf. Like, who you didn't care about Shia LaBeouf, right? You're not
Is it really LaBeouf?
LaBeouf?
I thought it was LaBeouf.
It's LaBeouf.
Okay.
I think you've
Is he
masculinized
French?
it a little more. LaBeouf, like
Yeah, I
Boof,
did.
like in Teen Wolf, right? Isn't it?
Or LaBeouf, like the buff.
The buff, the Boof, as in the Teen Wolf.
Doesn't
the Boof.
la mean the?
Does
Yes, the Boof. They call me the Boof.
Okay, back to LaBeouf. What about him?
Girls went to see him.
No, I
Women
think
will
that
see
guy's a pussy.
Women will see Mark
Yeah.
Wahlberg. No?
He's a guy that got in the car accident on in L.A. and
Franklin
then ran from
and
the scene.
Fairfax.
Yeah,
But no, Paul's
hurt
point
his
is-
finger. and ran.
Paul's point is girls saw LaBouffe. Women like the Berg.
I guess.
The Boof versus the Berg.
I don't know. I feel like the girl always wants the man, which is Wahlberg, but the LaBeouf is just...
Wahlberg.
It is weird for him to jump into a franchise, right?
That's it. Just tell me when you're It's... Whoa.
Just tell me when you're going back to your planet. You're going to leave and go back to your planet, aren't you?
I would love to have sex with an alien just so I could tell everybody how they do it. Like, do they do it normally?
No, it's always up the butt, right?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they're probing me in other places.
Oh. That's scientific.
That's because guys don't have vaginas.
That's right. You want them to probe it on the top of your penis?
I also, to be fair, if you're an alien, I think you'd want to pick someone like me to have sex with.
Oh, now, what does that mean?
I just feel like
we couldn't all ask that question.
I would easily describe the experience to someone else in very much detail, where other people would be like, "It was dreamy. It was out of this world."
So for maximum
but
research,
I would be like, "No, this is what he did. That's what he did with his glowing finger, and that's what his big head got."
Now, you're saying that to tell that to a friend, but if they are researching humans, are you the sort of talkative type to be like, "Oh, you're getting me going," and so they could just be taking down notes as they're screwing you?
Certainly, I would do it for America. And the world, assuming no Russian did them.
For the better of mankind.
One thing about Wahlberg, we noticed, we went to see Jonathan Kite. He's on Two Broke Girls right now, do stand-up here in Burbank. And he had this great bit about Mark Wahlberg. He does an impersonation of him as if he's always out of breath. Like, that's his thing. And it was a great little thing to notice because, he's always talking like this. Hey, man, what's up, bro?
I think we found a transformer.
What's up, bro? Yeah, listen.
Yeah.
You guys have never seen a truck like this before. I think we just found a transformer.
It is a great observation.
Kite nailed it.
Yeah. His whole method for acting is to find his motivation, center himself, and then quick do 10 push-ups.
Yes.
And then deliver a line.
And then action. Hey, man, I saw a transformer. Came out of the bar, dude.
What do you think you are, bro? Who do you think you're talking to?
It's a bad time, Bob.
So, like, if he's talking to Ted, he's talking to a stuffed animal. But if he's talking to a transformer, do you think they had some sort of, like, was there any sort of Barney guy standing there, like, just act like I'm a robot?
Oh, yeah, a dude with, like, they have tennis balls in the end of sticks so you know where to look.
Really?
This is where Optimus Prime's eyes will
I think we've had this argument before.
Michael Bay
Did they do googly eyes on it?
They did that ever since the dinosaurs from Jurassic
Or was it just tennis balls?
Like with the Hulk, they had a picture of the Hulk's head.
Really?
Just like a cartoon
But we've
Hulk
had this
looking
Mad or
conversation
happy?
before where
I'm sure I'm angry.
where I think
You ever happy?
if you're just acting in front of a green screen and a stick with a tennis ball on it, that's harder to act than with a person in front of you, right?
But I think Mark Wahlberg might prefer I'm acting with something that's not really human.
Maybe
he's sort of conceited or a dick that he's like, I just prefer to work with a poster.
You're going to have to build a real robot. I got to act against a real robot. Hey, Ted.
What are these tennis balls?
Look, you fucking tennis ball. I'm going to kick your ass, you fucking tennis ball.
Retake.
Hey, Ted. You smoked all the weed, Ted.
Is that what they say in movie sets? Retake?
Retake?
Yeah.
You've been on film
Do-over.
sets. Do-over.
I've done zero movies.
And go. And stop.
Do it again.
Go and
no trade backs.
Re-go over.
No trade backs.
Re-go over back.
Okay.
I think that's the official term.
On your mark, get set, act.
Hey. I think that's, that's what they say on a real movie.
Scorsese does it all the time to Leonardo.
Act more.
Yeah, that guy won't shut up about 1, 2, 3, not it.
Could you act more? Could you act more?
1, 2, 3, not it.
So this movie's been Stanley Tucci-ized, right? That's a good thing.
Hey, that's never
He's
a bad
great
addition.
in everything. You like Stanley Tucci? You like Stanley Tucci? He's the best, right? He's so good.
Yeah.
And he looks awesome as this sort of smarmy jerk, you know.
And I may have said this before.
Creates the new Transformers.
He made that movie The Terminal, which is a bad Spielberg Tom Hanks movie.
Okay.
But he cannot get Tom Hanks out of the fucking airport. And it's so much fun watching him slow burn for the entire movie. Can't do anything. And it's hilarious.
That is
He's the best part of the whole
That is
movie.
a great observation you've made about a couple performances. The idea of certain performances are slow burns. And what's the one you say about
Well,
the
there's two more.
informant?
Yaphet Kotto and Midnight Run.
Yeah.
Can't catch anybody.
Mosley.
Everybody's incompetent.
His real name's
And,
Mosley.
And Bakula and the informant. Yeah,
Bakula
Bakula can't
the
get
informant.
Matt Damon on point. Can't keep him to keep
Is
the
there
story straight.
anything else you have to tell us?
It's like the hairdresser in Tangled can't cut her hair.
Is there any more hair you have? I need to cut your hair,
She
but
had
you
a
have to be honest
shitload
with
of
me.
hair, and they just could have cut it in the first 5 minutes of that film.
But Paul's right, because Stanley Tucci really is sometimes the glue that makes an otherwise insufferable movie, because I can say the same for Burlesque.
Oh, see, you can say that
Is
because
he
you
in
saw
Burlesque?
it.
That's
I've
Cher.
seen Cher and
Oh,
Christina
Jesus.
Aguilera.
But so what was the slow burn?
No, that Stanley Tucci actually made that movie
Oh, right.
watchable until I had sex with the Russian gymnast.
Did he make the movie watchable?
Yes.
Or
You know why
Tolerable.
it was
No, I said
watchable? Because I
tolerable.
couldn't. I
Continue.
needed to see Cher in every scene to be like, I can't believe she's wearing that, which is life. Like every time you see her, and then you're like, I can't believe those lips are that big.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I can't believe I'm watching it, but I got to keep going. It's sort of like Showgirls. You just keep. You just can't stop.
I need to go back
watching
and
it.
watch Showgirls.
I saw it in the theater, like not when it was in the theaters, but recently ArcLight just had a screen. I said, if I'm ever going to see it, it's got to be there where I just can't
Where there's
have
an
something
audience
else
laughing.
distract me and I walk away. Right? Like I need to be focused.
like a
on it.
toaster, just a
Yes.
toaster sitting there.
Is that a fly or is that a bee? And
I
then
might
I'm
go
off,
make
you know,
toast.
yeah.
Oh, look, my foot.
Yeah. So horrible movie.
Wow.
But, Stanley Tucci would have made it better. I think that's
Well, here's a question.
What
Did he
was
make
the-
the movie better, or did he just make the movie better during the time in which he was on screen?
Well, that's true.
Palatable.
Yeah, palatable.
What was the movie he was in? Was it called The Imposters with Oliver Platt?
Yeah, he was in a movie called The Imposters. I think
And
he
they were
wrote
on a
it.
ship. They were on the ship.
Yeah, I believe so.
God, that was really fun.
I worked at the Chateau Marmont.
Nice.
And Oliver Platt would check in.
Oliver Platt
and
sighting.
he wanted a exercise machine in his room. And I was like, oh, but just below your room, we have a complete workout space, a gym. And he was like, I need it in my room. And I thought, what does this guy work out in that he can't be seen on something that's free a floor down from him? I mean, maybe he needed his own TV.
And really, looking at Oliver
Or does
Platt.
he just jerk off on the
out much?
fucking
Bigger
eucalyptus
question.
machine?
Yeah, bigger question is, if you're not going to work out on a machine, can't that machine be below you instead of your room? I mean, if you're not going to work out on it, does it have to be right in your
I need
room?
to not work out on it in my room.
I think I said eucalyptus machine.
I think you did say eucalyptus machine.
I don't know what it's really called. Eclipse? Eclipse.
Elliptical. Ellipsis machine.
No idea of the name of
For
that.
him, it's an
I've
ellipsis
never done
machine. It exists in a space where nothing happens.
Where
It
you
doesn't-
like
it's
you're
not-
like snow
I need to work
skiing in
out.
space. I would never do that.
I need to work out. Dot, 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 dot.
dot, dot, dot,
Ellipsis
dot,
machine.
dot.
You had a second shot and said eclipse. I enjoy that too. Called yourself out, went back in, and it's eclipse.
Ukulele machine.
Ukulele machine.
That's it.
That's right.
Oh, that would be the greatest exercise ever. You got to walk on a thing to make it
then
make a
Tiny
soothing
Tim's
sound
there.
of ukulele. Yeah, exactly. Oh.
I would run from Tiny Tim faster than I would do the
I would lose weight,
eucalyptic
yes.
machine.
Eucalyptus
You get him
machine.
playing behind you, so you run forward. Right?
Well, the eucalyptus machine is nice because you when you're done, you smell really nice.
yeah, it's soothing.
Yeah, you're good. It's very
yes.
calming.
And
You
koala
smell
bears
good.
love you.
Supple. You're nice and supple.
All right, well, you're probably wondering how they came upon the title Transformers: Age of Extinction.
I was just
now that
wondering
you
to
mention
myself.
Okay. Well, despite that, it wasn't due to a tie-in to a song.
Damn
which is
hippies.
how most movies get their titles. There actually is no creativity put into the process at all, which we will demonstrate now. And that isn't to say that it's a bad thing. It's just that Transformers franchise uses a scientific method of elimination to get its sequel title. Simply combine a metaphorical location or measurement of time and a type of catastrophe and link the two phrases together with the word of. Boom. Whittling your choices down to the perfect Transformers sequel title. And when all else fails, just throw in a phrase already used in a previous sequel to a Resident Evil movie or horror film franchise. Got all that? Piece of cake. Now here we go. I'll show you how easy it is. I'm going to spin the big wheel here for the first word of our Transformers sequel. You'll see we have age of, rise of, all that kind of stuff here. Let's see what we got. All right. I got return of.
Oh.
Yeah, I know it stopped already. Okay. I got return of. And now I'm going to...
The ball was still rolling.
So we have of.
Theater of the mind, kind of.
And we have, let's see, we have to spin now for a catastrophe. Let's
Spin
see.
the eucalyptus machine.
Where did you get that golf ball? It's purple.
And apocalypse. Transformers: Return of the Apocalypse.
Oh.
Boom! There you go.
That sounds like a
That's how
perfectly
easy it is.
acceptable title.
Paul, I'd like to play. Can
You
I
like
play?
this? I'll spin for you.
Can I
Here we
spin?
go. Here we go.
I'm going to give it a real big
Don't-
whirl. Big
that-
whirl.
Look at it go.
Come on, Bride of. Come on.
Sell it.
Hey.
Sell it.
Ooh, I got Bride of.
Bride of.
Bride
Oh, shit,
of.
that doesn't
All
sound
right,
like a...
Bride of.
Whiz.
We're naming the 6th movie now, right?
Yes. All right, what do you got?
Ooh, The Silver Surfer.
Bride
of the Silver
Transformers,
Surfer.
Bride of the Silver Surfer.
Okay, well, that is a valid second thing
In the
to have
past,
in
who
a
has
title.
risen. Now he's the bride of.
Can I play?
Yeah, please.
Give it a spin.
Okay.
No need to take your...
Come on, big bucks. No more whammies.
No whammies.
What do you got?
Accounts of.
Accounts of. That's going to be an exciting
Is it the
sequel.
count of?
No, accounts.
Okay.
Come on, receivable. Come on, receivable.
Come on.
What do you got?
Cut your nuts off.
Accounts of Cut Your Nuts Off.
Transformers, Accounts of Cut Your Nuts Off.
I used to live next to the Cut Your Nuts Off.
Would you see it?
Does it have Wahlberg?
Yes.
I'm in.
And his son, just like Will Smith.
You guys have never seen a truck like this before. I think we just found a transformer.
His son breathes more.
Can I play? Except
Wait a
when I
minute.
say the title, can you play the Transformers?
I
theme
used to
first?
live next door.
Yes.
I used to live next door to the Cut Your Nuts Off.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Russian family.
Is that Russian family?
Yeah,
Oh,
Russian.
they did.
Gotcha.
I went to college with a Herzog.
Hey, Adam, here we go.
All right, it stopped, and I've got City of.
City of. Oh,
Okay, this is
Sounds like it could be big.
Port of Call, New Orleans.
Well, that seems a little too long.
Transformers.
Oh, yeah.
City of Port of Call, New Orleans.
It'd
All right.
bring the city
I
money.
like that.
And it would be Brad Pitt might be in that one.
Paul, I'm feeling lucky. Let's give the
All right,
world no.
So we're naming
What do you got?
the movie now.
What do you got?
Well, a season of. Wow,
Season of. All right.
Vanquished.
Season of the Vanquished.
Of the Vanquished.
There
That
you
is-
go.
yeah.
Boom.
Well, that sounds good. Transformers. Here, let me do
Are we spin sticks?
Rise of Annihilation.
Transformers.
Beneath Extinction.
Revenge of the Collapse.
Transformers.
Dawn of the Silver Surfer.
King of the Crystal Skull.
Rise of Destruction.
Spirit of Retribution. I actually think that's a good one.
Patent pending. Patent
Dawn
pending.
of Eradication. Oh, Lion.
Era of European Gigolo.
Oh, Lion.
So we named the next 11 movies there.
All right, let's get on with it.
Most of which will star The Rock, I think.
I do like the best part when we were trying to figure this out the other day. Kicking around, thinking a lot of these, you can get a lot of these from Resident Evil titles, right? Resident Evil Afterlife, Resident Evil Apocalypse. et cetera.
Or didn't we use Metallica theme songs too? Or
We're
titles?
going to go that way for a while. Master
Yeah.
of Puppets. You know, that's a total Transformers movie. But then it devolved into like, well, what's Mia Jovovich looking like today? Oh, when was she ever nude? And that's kind of like the next half hour of our writing.
That's why this wasn't. This could have been more well written, but we did find nude photographs of Mila Jovovich online. We'll try and find.
What's her
Resident
Evil
Evil.
Dead, right? What does she do? Those 3D?
Yeah, they're Resident Evil.
Yes.
Yeah. Evil
She
residents.
must be naked in some sort of alien pod in that, right?
Resident Evil Simba's Pride.
Oh.
She's naked in the first one, I do believe, and
Mummy
then
neck.
that's it.
Is she really?
Which is
Oh.
ridiculous.
I didn't think
Yeah,
she's naked in any of
Then
them.
she became a mother.
Mm-hmm.
Boo.
And she named her child Ever.
Did she?
And I have a secret.
Ever Jovovich?
So Ever Carradine.
Ever
and
Carradine?
her
Is she
did
married to a
something
Carradine?
together,
right? And so
She married to Keith Carradine?
I don't know, but Mia, is that her name?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's just call her Me.
Sure.
She talked to Ever. She goes, I really love your name. If I have a daughter, I want to name her Ever. And she's like, oh, that's great. And she's like, and I'll always say it's after you. So she does an interview after her baby's born. And someone goes to Ever, it's such a unique name. Like, how did you come up with it? She goes, I just thought of it. And Ever Carradine's like, what the fuck?
little credit here, man.
Who's Ever Carradine a daughter of? Keith?
The
David?
guy from Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, Keith.
David.
David. No.
David. Yes.
No, David Carradine's Kung Fu.
Oh, I'm sorry. No.
Keith Carradine.
No, Keith Carradine is
Nashville.
Right. And then Robert Carradine.
Robert
is
Carradine.
Revenge
Oh,
of the
I
Nerds.
got you.
Yeah, there's
We
one
got
of them
there.
that did that.
Did what?
The old jerky herchy in the closet and
Oh, yeah, that
didn't
was
come
David
out
Carradine.
alive.
That was David Carradine, yes.
Yeah, he did the boing in the closet. That is
Yes,
boy.
all
I will
over
never.
himself.
I will never choke myself and masturbate. I
Well,
just want to
would
say
you-
that on this show. There's been a lot of posts of people asking.
So if we ever find
Have you ever tried, or will you never try? I mean, the words are, will you do it, or will you try?
I just do not want to be found dead and naked.
So if we find you that way,
I don't sleep naked in case I die.
But if we find you that way, we know it's murder.
I don't sleep naked in case someone breaks into my house.
Well, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
You don't sleep naked because somebody might break in?
You never know when there's an earthquake. You need to run.
I sleep naked just in case somebody does break into my house.
Comes in and wants to have sex with me. I just want him to peel off layers.
A naked man with a shotgun, you are leaving immediately.
Does an alien make that noise?
You know what sound it makes when I orgasm? No! Try again.
Bum, 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 bum.
I love the drums on this. That guy is just going to fucking town.
The studio's getting sticky.
He's spinning every hit. All right.
Do you think that like Lion is sitting around their Burbank apartment, probably all together saying, do you think they're going to ask us? Do you think they're going to ask us to be the theme song? Because they would make some serious residge.
Yeah.
And this was before auto-tune, where you could just walk up and go, Transformers meets more than meets, and then hit the button, and it turns into that. They actually had to sell it that hard.
But I love that somewhere there's a track unmixed of just the lyrics of that, just the plain track of the audio, and these guys are just going nuts with nothing underneath it. That audio is going with no instruments under it. Sorry, I'm yelling, I know.
Adam,
Sorry,
it's not
Jamie.
just lyrics, it's poetry.
Did Lion have any other hits?
You've defended a lot of rap, haven't you?
All right. Well, we had a. Did you thrash your head so much? You did Lion?
Thrash myself.
What does that mean? What did you have to do? Oh, you unplugged yourself?
Yeah,
the headphones.
You thrashed so hard your headphones you unplugged.
I did.
Lion brings that out in us, man.
Lion. Oh God, Lion was going there. And then we got a G.I. Joe commercial. G.I. Joe Conquest X30.
All right. Well, fuck the next.
So I have been watching Transformers cartoons all week. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You can't go on too much, I guess, about Transformers.
No. Well, you can. And then this is it. It's an overtime.
And here's proof.
They
Go ahead.
didn't have any other songs. By the way.
They had no other songs.
In fact, it says on Wikipedia, only known for their theme song from the 1986 movie Transformers.
Oh, Lion.
No, poor Lion.
Oh, Lion.
But I did find out, I just wanted you to know, Josh Duhamel's coming out in a movie this year with Ali Larter. You're welcome.
Oh, my gosh.
Well done.
Does she have a bob or long hair?
Okay. So
undecided.
So the
unsubscribe.
So the math on Transformers and G.I. Joe is the longer one of those shows goes that advertises a toy, the closer it approaches just existentialism. They're just fighting to fight because we fought, and now we're fighting to fight because they fought, and then we fight.
Fight again.
But they keep adding Transformers. So I've been watching the cartoon lately. I watch cartoons here and there, and Transformers is a classic, of course. I just caught an interesting piece of continuity about at some point in season 2 they introduce all the new toys. They have a whole new rollout and a whole bunch of new guys, and it's just the new toys. They're just all of a sudden all there, and they have a fire truck and a construction crane and all this sort of stuff, and they have the fire department Lamborghini, and that never occurred to me of being the weirdest vehicle when I was a kid and saw the toy. The fire department Lamborghini.
So like the sides lift up from.
Yeah. It's got the gull wing doors, just in case
a hose comes out.
Because when you're in a fire, you need to get out to like save the fire. You need to wait for beep 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 beep.
How much water could a Lamborghini hold? I know it's going to get you to the fire quicker, but I just don't think it's going to do shit for you.
The
Once
fire
you get
chief who didn't want to be in that stodgy old pickup.
A Lamborghini to take a side turn to might tip over. It's unreliable.
Yeah,
it's a bad call. It's a horrible choice.
It's a terrible choice. It's a bad time, Bob.
Transformers are irresponsible. I'm learning now.
All right. Well, now that we've covered that.
Have they ever destroyed Europe? They're not destroying Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff, are they? It's the America.
No, they just keep destroying Chicago. This is another movie where they destroy Chicago. These Transformers hate Chicago.
Wasn't Navy. Was that Navy Pier again?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They keep destroying Chicago and Sears Tower again, or Willis Tower, whatever. Sears Tower.
It's Sears Tower.
Yeah.
And it's Sky Dome.
Always be Sears
and it'll always
Tower.
be the last act, right?
yeah.
Corcoran's. Bite me, Corcorans. It stays named what it was named when I moved.
Totally.
Right? I think it was named Corcorans when I moved. But whatever, fuck it. It's still the last act.
All right, on to our next film, For the Love of
That's
God.
when you're really Chicago.
We have another film with high-octane action, but it's coupled with comments on class and society.
High Octane, that was his name.
Yes. It's opening a more limited release, but get out there and you can find Snowpiercer, starring Jamie Bell and Chris Evans, going up against Tilda Swinton, which is like Billy Elliot and Captain America going up against Tilda Swinton. There you go. So. Hell, the world.
Everybody knows that lyric.
The sing-along part.
I love that one guy.
Yeah, that'd be me.
Ozzy Osbourne had to hit the.
And he had to do it every concert at the right time.
That was a union job. Guy
Pick
walks
that
out.
thing up, they'll yell at you.
Yeah.
You know, there's some guy listening to Crazy Train that's like, this is missing something. Hold on a second. And he goes to the box of band instruments with all the little band things that we hand to the untalented kids.
They
like myself.
re-edited him because after he did it, the guy went, yeah,
that's it.
Gives Woodblock a go. Nah, it's not cut.
Woodblock? Is his name Woodblock?
No.
The triangle.
Cowbell? No.
What is that thing called?
Yeah, I don't know. What is that thing called, Jamie?
No, Google.
It's called the butter, 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 butter.
All right,
so Snowpiercer.
The world is destroyed, and it's all your fault. In Snowpiercer, the post-apocalyptic tale in which everything's gone to hell thanks to a massive outbreak of mankind failing to learn every lesson. Based on a novel, See, I Told You So by Al Gore.
Yes, Paul, but is it officially a movie?
Well, it's based on a graphic novel.
Graphic novel. All right, that's close enough to a book.
There you go.
Continue.
Now, the year is the future, the worst place to be in any movie. All of Earth is frozen into an icy wasteland. Why, you ask? Well, either because that's how everyone in Los Angeles sees the rest of the world, or perhaps because Minnesota is offering a new tax credit for filming there. Here's a clip.
The Iceman cometh. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
That's not true.
Oh.
Actually, here's a clip. Here we go.
Do you want to build a snowman?
What the fuck is it with you?
Okay, bye.
Harsh landscape out there. The only plus side of this future, unlimited aerosol deodorant. I mean, what can it hurt?
With the world being uninhabitable, mankind has boarded Noah's Amtrak, a train run by unlimited nuclear power, allowing it to circle the Earth forever, while all of mankind lives aboard it. The train cars are divided by class, the wealthy riding up front, able to watch any Hunger Games movie on demand free of charge, with the poor riding in the back, with all the screaming kids and $10 for a flat Diet Coke and a turkey sandwich that tastes like an old shoe.
Some of the poor even resorted to cannibalism.
Come here, I'm gonna eat you! Get in my belly!
Is that Shrek?
Yes.
Now, no doubt this is all the work of the evil Dr. Snowpiercer and his gun that fires recent Disney hits.
Snowpiercer, you say?
Snowpiercer?
No!
Snowpiercer.
Yeah!
It's the train that pierces snow.
You got Liza Minnelli to do this?
It plows the snow.
It's actually Shirley Bassey.
Such a cold piazza.
This makes me happy.
Driving round the future at
Maya
a
Rudolph.
breakneck
I mean,
pace.
Angelou?
Why do you know your place? Chris Evans will give you one more when his band of rebels kick in your door. He'll warm your heart, or maybe your climate, or he'll meet his death aboard the Snowpiercer.
All right, damn Snow.
All right, I can listen to that all day.
I love her pointy boobs.
Well, you're in luck because they also did one of those for the Transformers.
Oh, did they?
Transformer.
All right, enough.
No need to re-record that,
Yeah,
Paul.
no.
Thank you.
I'd like to return to that
Best
email chain and say yes, that's a good idea.
But things really heat up.
Merely a suggestion is all it was.
Please send a voicemail with that.
I just sent a voicemail with an example of what I think the song should sound like.
That's it.
Assuming he would re-record it with Karen. Transformer.
Oh my gosh, you are Liberace.
That was wonderful. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
All right, well, back to Snowpiercer. Well, there's your predetermined,
Snowpiercer.
First of all,
Snowpiercer.
Watching the preview, the woman on the train with the bob, the bad bob and the bad teeth. It's very Elizabeth Banks in Hunger Games, I feel like.
Effie Trinket.
The exaggerated look of an ugly woman makes you want to run the other way. I don't want to go in
You're talking about the people in the
class.
front in the
yes,
front car?
I don't want to go in upper class train if I have to deal with looking at that woman.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Well, they've had enough screaming kids fighting over the 5 outlets to charge their smartphones. They decide to form a rebellion and fight their way to the front of the train. So it's like The Day After Tomorrow meets Rosa Parks.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, the revolt hits a snag as a result of poor planning when they end up in the bar car during happy hour. But cheap booze and single-file aisleways are no match for this group of determined destiny seekers who are convinced that a better life can be found up front with a hot towel and free headphones.
So we fail to warm the planet? Really? Seems like we're doing a pretty good job of it so far. Now let me get this straight. We can't get a bullet train from Los Angeles to Vegas, like we were talking about, but in this movie, we figured out how to get a train to run nonstop around the globe? Right. We cool the planet and create sustainable mass transit, only in the movies.
Why are they going around the world like over and over again, or?
Because there's nothing else to do. That's how weird a future it is.
Because the future, everything's frozen.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why though they have to keep moving. I'm not entirely sure. But
how do they get the coal?
The train runs on nuclear power. That is unending.
So life is on a train, and I noticed like as he walked through, that there was like a rave train. I mean, that train probably exists in Amsterdam.
There's like a school train. There's like a garden train.
Yeah, but there's like an ecstasy train, and then there's like a car, I would say, right?
It's going to stop everywhere. It'll stop in Amsterdam.
No, but I mean, like, each car has its own theme. Like, there was, like, the rave car, then there's the I'm doing a hair salon car.
They had that. You're right.
Yes.
You've watched this trailer.
I did.
Well, fortunately, the film stars Captain America Chris Evans, who shows some acting range by taking a break from playing Captain America to play a heroic soldier fighting for justice and leading a populace to freedom. Oh.
And as you mentioned, Jill, Tilda Swinton is the villain because she dresses well, talks down to people, and has bad teeth. Or
I thought it looked like her. I didn't know it was really her.
Yeah.
That woman needs a lot of work to look uglier, and I mean minutia work.
And when I say a lot,
claws are coming out. Tilda Swinton's taking it in the fucking chops.
This is the English language debut for acclaimed Korean director Bong Joon-ho. Bong Joon-ho.
No sound effect there?
It's supposed to be.
Bong Joon.
There, fucking Bong Joon-ho.
Joon-ho.
All over your bong.
Will Chris Evans be able to unfreeze the world with an act of true love or a carbon tax? We'll see when it comes on Netflix, instant, but only if I've finally gotten around to watching Parker first. There you go. That's the movie. That's Snowpiercer.
Transformers.
Tilda Swinton Snowpiercer. Yeah, Tilda Swinton is one mannish-looking lady.
But my husband finds her sexy because she's so bizarrely interesting looking. He's like, I can't keep my eyes off her. I'm like, so do you want to sleep with her? Which is fine. Like, we talk openly about it. And he's like, no, I just find her sexy.
Yeah. When George Clooney gives her the what for at the end of Michael Clayton, that is fucking great.
Right?
I love that scene. That's a great scene.
I wouldn't
She's
want
got
to
an
get
Oscar.
near that.
I like boyish girls. There's an attractiveness to her in some strange
interesting.
way. I understand people who don't think she's that attractive, but I
do. You get tall?
I do
you go
look
tall too? She's tall.
Is
I
she
know you
tall?
like the sprightly little.
Nah, I'm a little more of a.
That's interesting. So if you were to go to odd girl, you'd go to more of a manly girl.
Go to an odd girl?
Like if you were to be like, yeah, I could see that. I could see why that girl's attractive.
Oh,
like
sure.
that's an odd choice for a girl that you would be attracted to.
For a minute, I thought there was a new dating website I didn't know about. Odd Girl.
Oddgirl.com.
Write that down, because we can.
I could clean up on that.
Got to cover all my bases here.
I bet that exists.
I can't, to answer Paul's question that he didn't ask, I can't do tall girls, like 5'7". That's, if you've ever...
How tall are you?
I can play anywhere from 6'1" to... I'm 5'11".
But you don't like 5'7"?
5'7" is too... 5'8".
Really?
5'8" is like rolling around with another dude.
Why do you like kissing, why do you like getting a neck ache bending down to kiss petite chicks?
Because most of my kissing doesn't happen standing up.
Oh.
Zing,
You want
bing.
to lift her in the shower, because no guy can lift my ass in the shower.
You miss that, don't you?
I will
I consider
tear
that a
down
challenge.
your shower curtain. But hopefully you don't have one.
I install the bars.
Hopefully you have glass. Or no windows.
Most apartments have that handicap bar.
You live in Cabo and it's all terracotta.
To grab onto?
Yeah. And
just squeeze yourself into a corner?
It's a walk-in.
You're writing this down at home, folks?
Have you ever stayed at...
She's throwing out the shopping
If you
list.
ever want sound effects when you come and be with an alien, I know all about that.
Well, that sound effect jumps right out. Okay, fine.
Jill is into that. I like how Jill clearly watched one of the trailers.
Clearly.
I watched
and it's
two.
Snowpiercer.
Transformers. No, I watched that too. That's how
so
I knew
funny.
he had a hot daughter.
Oh, that's right.
I can watch something and be like, got it, hot daughter. All right, that's why people are watching it.
She's got some hot name too, like Jetta or something.
Jetta.
Oh.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with
Jamie?
the girl from the first two Transformers movies,
Megan Fox?
Megan Fox. Then they had and then she screwed the director. At least I think that's what happened there.
Yes.
Her and Michael Bay had a thing that broke up, and then boom, you're out of Transformers 3. But now she's in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is produced
I heard
by
she
Michael
had a
Bay.
bad attitude.
I thought she had some anti-Semitic rant that she went on, her Nazi supporter. Didn't she say something? Seriously, I'm not just being funny.
Because that's one way to take down a reputation.
I'm not just being funny with my charming new eyebrows that were trimmed.
Look, I'd like to kill
Thanks
my
for
career,
noticing.
so I'm going to come out and say Hitler was right. Cool? All right, I'm leaving Hollywood. Good night.
Wasn't that research department, please?
I'll look at that. Her name's Tessa.
Tessa.
In the movie.
In the movie.
Yes. But the girl that got nixed from the first two,
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Went on,
We're back
she
on
didn't work-
Transformers.
Jonah
work
Hex
much at
is
all.
Megan Fox.
this is what he does.
LaBeouf.
Yeah, she didn't work
LaBeouf.
much at all. I mean, there was some general sort of she's not that good, or she gave everybody shit on the set of Transformers where she just didn't work much at all.
Yeah, she was a bad colleague.
I'm saying that as
Bad
hearsay.
lay.
So this is a weird choice for...
She would not work with tennis balls.
So it's a weird choice for Chris Evans, right? Sorry. I didn't mean to bounce back.
What can he do? I mean, after the first one, he did that romantic comedy, didn't he? After the first Captain America, What's Your Number, or whatever, right?
Yeah, sure. Girl 6.
So I mean, can he? It's tough to do more fighting stuff. But
He was hilarious.
well.
Hilarious. Somebody, my roommate, sat me down once and showed me Not Another Teen Movie, which I assume any of those movies that's not made by Zucker, Abrams, and Zucker, that's not Hot Shots or Naked Gun or Airplane is kind of crap. Yeah.
Most of the time, you're right.
Most of the time, yeah. But Not Another Teen Movie is hilarious. He's amazing in that. He's great, and it's a parody of John Hughes movies, which is wonderful, right?
Well, leading into my jam is 16 Candles.
That's the jam.
I could do it over and over again. I could say everything out loud, and I only do that with my best friend because it would be annoying for other people.
Now, wait a minute. If I were to ask you your favorite film of all time, is that where you go?
Favorite film of all time is sort of a tie between two, 16 Candles and Clue.
Oh, my God. Just fire up the mic, Jamie. You guys have a talk.
Fire it up,
Okay.
Jamie.
Oh, my God. I can't even.
It's so good, right?
Clue's my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
I've never met anybody else who
Well-
has even,
thought
about
I'll give you a
mentioning it.
world of passion for it. I did a staged reading of the movie Clue
Here?
at the Largo.
Oh,
I played Mrs. Peacock.
Oh.
I had Rachel Harris play Mrs. White. Jack
fantastic.
McBrayer played Mr. Green.
No shit.
Right?
Is
And
this
I'll go
recorded
on and on. I
anywhere?
had John Cryer play Wadsworth. It went on and on. But I had Matt Walsh played Colonel Mustard.
Wait,
and
you had? Did you put this on?
Did it. Did it at
You
the
put this
Largo.
on?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
And produced it and called up Jonathan Lynn. Jonathan Lynn came to the show.
Holy
and
shit.
he said to me, I have the email saved. He goes, you were better than Eileen Brennan. I said, shut your fucking mouth.
Shut
How
up.
dare you? But he was so sweet, and he loved it. He loved it. He loved it so much, he tried to make it into a Broadway musical on Broadway.
Holy shit.
And I'm currently trying to ask Paramount to get the rights back so I can do it again. But all proceeds go to charity, Children's Institute, and that's where we are now, is to try to remount it.
Oh, I wish I'd lived here at that time so you could have invited me.
Oh, this was in 2012 that I did it. Did you live here? Did you have $50 to do it?
I might have been here for a few years.
No, I did it.
I might have made some editing money.
But it was really fun. But I'm obsessed with the movie. And
That's awesome.
Every line of it, I still quote
I've seen
in
it
conversation.
All
Very nice.
Yeah,
well,
all the
please
time.
come to the next remount.
Do you have video or audio of the event?
I do.
Oh.
Yeah. So. Anyway,
that
those
is
are my
awesome.
favorite movies.
How great is that?
Because I said, and my goal was to go up to every actor in the movie Clue and to tell them how amazing it is. So I made this pact with Jack McBrayer, and I go, tonight I saw Martin Mull, and I went up to him and I said, I just found you amazing in Clue, which is like, to an actor is like, oh my God, I did so much, and now you're quoting that, you know? And he goes, if you can imagine the things that we did, I go, I mean, because if you were to put me in a movie like that, put me to bed, I'd be done. Like, who needs to do a movie? It's like After Naked, whatever. Like, it's a big, monumental. He goes, oh, if you could imagine the things we did off screen. Like, and I was like, oh.
I mean,
so then I saw Tim Curry at Gelson's, and I went up to him and I said, I needed to go up to every actor I meet who's still alive in Clue and tell them how much it means to me. And he goes, and I go, I went up to Martin Mull, and he said this, if you could only imagine the things we did off screen. And he went like this. He looked at the ceiling and made a laugh, and I was like, did you guys have a fucking orgy? Like, I was like, what was that laugh about, right? He goes, I wish. You know, we don't know how he plays. So so then after that, who did I see next? Oh, then so Jack McBrayer saw Ms. Scarlett at a party, and he told her the same thing.
Ms. Scarlett?
It's Leslie Ann Warren.
Oh,
I met Leslie Ann Warren.
Yeah.
And also told her that Clue was my favorite movie of all time.
This is what this show's all about, right here.
It, because that's not.
No one talks about that shit.
No, that's not the thing that comes up
That chick
in
was on like
conversation.
Desperate Housewives and all that.
Yeah, she was at that time too,
Right.
and she was like, I can't believe we like sat and had a conversation.
So there's
she was
a
talking
cult
about
following.
everything that was like improvised and
that's
not
great.
scripted. And
So yeah, that would be my two.
She is slamming hot in that movie.
Yeah.
still slamming hot.
Totally.
Yeah, it's true. Desperate Housewives, she's pretty good.
But I, like, as a kid, I would have dreams and fantasize about being invited to a mansion where a real murder would happen.
Sweet.
Secret passages. I would fuck anybody in a minute in one of those. And
That is
solving a murder. Like,
Oh, you must love it at the Magic Castle because you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where have you
I
had
wish
sex
that you
at the
could like
Magic
rent a room at the Magic Castle, like in the castle, like people around. Like, I mean, dude, I go into full fantasy.
You ever meet Lee Ving?
No, although Ike Barinholtz played that character. Yeah.
What?
Mr.
That's
Body.
awesome.
Yeah.
Friend of the show.
Mr. Body's body.
Yeah.
Mr. Body's body.
So
no body.
I mean, just the way that Colonel Mustard pours the whiskey when he goes, "Who needs a drink?" and he just does it sloppily. Yeah.
There's not every moment's perfect.
Yeah.
You know what's amazing about that movie?
Oh, I hear remake,
Well,
by the way. Excuse me, and I get really perturbed by that.
Yeah,
because you
I've
can't
heard that.
touch Golden. You know.
That really was kind of lightning in a bottle because all of those actors are amazing and hilarious, yet none of them had been in an ensemble comedy somehow. I don't think so. Most of that cast had not been in any kind of ensemble comedy.
It's not like Michael McKean, you know, Spinal Tap a little bit. But.
You know, but that's just Spinal Tap. I mean, it's I mean, but and that's a good example actually because he's kind of an ensemble player with those people, but most of them aren't, and yet they create this ensemble of funny people that aren't generally in other ensembles.
I would
of
say
any
that
kind.
they go
It's
back
so
to the
unique.
Chicago improv world of I want to make you look good and you're going to make me look good. And Michael McKean wrote me an email when I invited all the original cast to the show. And he goes, I'm so sorry I can't make it, but please read this to the cast the night of the show. I didn't do it. So, I mean, to them, I think it reaches a moment. Yeah, it reaches
Who do you have yet to meet then?
To meet?
Yeah, who do you have to meet still, run into, and tell them how much you love them?
Well, okay.
Eileen Brennan?
So I thought, this is so terrible. I thought she was already dead when I did the thing.
Oh.
I didn't invite her, and she was alive in LA because she just died this past year. And people were emailing me like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm like, oh my God, shit. I could have invited her.
Did any of them come see it, though?
No, Tim Curry.
So she wouldn't have either.
Now had a stroke or something, which is terrible. I asked him to actually play Wadsworth, and he would have, but he was in New York doing a show, because I know his goddaughter. Like, I'm reaching people through all avenues. I haven't met Yvette, the maid, or the cook.
Colleen Camp?
Jane Wheedlin, right?
Right, yeah.
She's in there,
the
too.
cook, I asked Margaret Cho. She would have, but she was in Atlanta doing a show.
Did you read, or did you just mount the thing?
Did I
production?
read?
Oh, no,
yes, I did Mrs. Peacock.
Oh, that's Miss Peacock. That's right. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Give me your favorite Mrs. Peacock line.
Oh, okay. I do have that. Let me, I got so many. Let me just narrow it down.
Oh, I got a great question after this.
Okay. This is where she. Yes, but if any of us split up, one of us could be killed. God.
Now this is a question we ask, but this is by far the best answer of favorite movie that we've gotten, because you've got a hell of a story behind it. Yeah.
We've gotten it.
No, don't make fun of Ike. But anyway, but we also talk about movies that you have severely memorized, where you can actually go. How far into Clue?
Oh, that would be Clue, definitely.
How far can you go into it before you start missing lines?
That's good.
For me, like Breakfast Club, about 15 minutes, I'll start missing lines.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm pretty good for like 15 more minutes.
I mean,
but
Clue
then
I had to transcribe because that script didn't really exist.
Yeah.
And I asked Paramount for it, and they said they didn't have it. And then, Neil Patrick Harris contacted me after the reading. He's like, how can I be a part of it? I have the original script. So it just...
He can hook you up with the Magic Castle.
I know,
bang
exactly.
spot.
We talked about that. But so it just keeps going and going. But yeah, I would say Clue is like, I just knew everybody's line and the cadence of the line. That's even more than just knowing a line, you know.
I know.
Well, you gotta really punch that line.
That's half the fun of quoting a movie.
Totally.
But yeah, I used to have a friend we'd go back and forth with Breakfast Club, like until someone missed a line. You know, and it's almost like a Fletch. We could do that with Fletch too, because that's got a very memorable monologue at the beginning. Both of them have memorable, so that's good to get into a movie and keep it going. Do you have a movie memorized like for
Princess Bride's kind of close?
Right.
Broadcast
Anybody
news.
want a peanut?
But you don't have like
everybody move. I mean, I could just go on.
So being a Clue lover, I can't that thing when you're like, oh, I'm like the biggest Depeche Mode fan. I can't stand it when someone says they like People Are People. That's such a poser.
Oh yeah, what's your least favorite?
So my least favorite line that people quote, which is what everybody quotes, is flames on the side of my face. Heaving breasts. You're like, whatever. You're a novice.
Yeah. May the force be with you.
Right,
I get it.
Totally. But so that's the interesting
Luke, I'm
question.
your father. Blah blah blah.
Right. So what's the movie that you can't stand the person naming the most popular line because you're like, oh, that's just a girl on a first date trying to impress you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic line, but I'm such a huge fan of Airplane, and I do know most of the lines from it. So Surely You Can't Be Serious has started to annoy me over the years, because it's like...
Now, if you were to ask me my favorite line from Airplane, I would just jiggle my boobs back and forth.
Yeah, there you
that's
go.
a line in itself.
Like, I mean, Leslie Nielsen's such a master of deadpan in that one of his funniest movies is, yes, I'm the doctor. Mm-hmm. Because he's wearing a stethoscope when he says it.
Have you ever seen a grown man naked?
Yeah, exactly. Do you like movies about gladiators?
And just to say it, my favorite line of Leslie Nielsen's of all time, from The Police Squad, when he busts in a door and the guy says, "Who are you? How'd you get in here?" I'm a locksmith, and I'm a locksmith.
That police squad is one of the greatest things that exists. Well, that is an awesome.
When was 16
16
Candles? 1984. Do we know that?
Yeah, that's.
I'm going to bring up that year.
I'm going to say
anyway.
84.
We were talking about this year the other day because it's going around now that this weekend in 1984
30 years.
was like the greatest year in movies ever because at
and he's celebrating
at
30
one time,
years, I think.
At one time, you could go and see Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Gremlins, Karate Kid,
Star Trek 3,
Shit.
The Natural,
yeah,
and something else I'm forgetting. But like right now, you do not have a swath of movies that awesome to go and check out. Or for the last 30 years, I checked them all. I checked every summer. We came close a couple of times, but never that great.
That seems like it would feel like you would know at the moment that this is classic. You know, when you're looking at the marquee, you're like, these are all really good movies. But I guess you wouldn't have at the time even thought, oh, this is epic.
I mean, there's only 2 times of a celebrity passing away that I actually cried, and one was John Ritter, and the other was John Hughes. And J names are very popular in the industry. If you think about every talk show host, besides Seth Meyers, has a J name. I mean,
and then
Jimmy Fallon,
Craigs,
Johnny
oddly.
Carson, Jay Leno, Jimmy Fallon. Not that any of those people are John Hughes.
Interesting.
But Jay is also, in my phone book, the longest category. So I think there's something
You're married to
say
a J.
about- I am married to a J.
Yeah.
And I'm a J. So I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for my moment. But John Hughes passing, I read this Vanity Fair article about him, and it was in detail. And I think it's sort of like when you find out about Van Gogh. Van Gogh was gay, and he sent his ear not to the woman, but if you go to the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam, he sent it to the guy. You could Google that shit. But it's the guy that he had a blue period with, and he's a famous artist
Right
as
now,
well.
she's typing in who did Van Gogh.
Yeah, really
gay
send the ear
lover,
to. But during
hashtag
school,
send his
growing
lover
up,
to.
you always heard about him sending it to a woman. And so John Hughes, in this Vanity Fair article, he got really jealous because Molly Ringwald and Anthony, who's the nerd in 16 Candles, Michael Hall, were dating, and he got jealous and stopped talking to them.
Whoa.
That's in the article.
John Hughes wanted to.
I mean, I think whether he wanted to be with her, I think he got
Anthony Michael Hall.
jealous that he was the odd man out, and maybe that reminded him of high school of being a third wheel. I don't know, but he got jealous of them dating, and that's all in this Vanity Fair article.
I wouldn't be surprised if Anthony Michael Hall was the personification of Hughes in these movies.
Right.
You know?
In fact, that's all in that too. It's he's like, they all talked about music, and him and Molly were really inspired by the
Psychedelic
Furs
I remember
and the
they had a thing
music, and they
about
made
that.
Smiths,
playlists for each other. And then all of a sudden, they were secretly dating, Anthony Michael Hall and her. And then when he found out, I feel like he felt like, hey, you didn't fucking tell me your secret.
Well, maybe he's pissed because you're
Maybe
no longer.
it reminded him of high school.
Anthony Michael Hall's no longer the nerd if he's fucking Molly Ringwald.
Right.
Like, look, I'm casting you as the nerd in various movies. You've got to keep that up a little
But
bit.
I
Fuck you
still
guys,
say
I'm making Uncle Buck.
To this day, I feel like Anthony Michael Hall plays the king. I mean, as he quotes, the king of nerds. He is what nerds are. And then you have Urkel. And then you've got all these other nerds in movies where you're like, stop it with the tape between your glasses.
Yeah.
He was, I'm a nerd. I'm wanting to be cool, but I'm such a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
And I feel like that invented. I mean, my high school was like that. Suburb of Chicago, which is where it was filmed, but still it was.
Shermer, Illinois?
People got
Did you come from Shermer, Illinois?
Homewood Flossmoor.
60062?
Everybody got their 60430. Everybody had their BMWs at 16, and then there was the other side of the tracks where you're like, oh my God, there's
The
people
John
having
Benders.
sex at parties, you know.
Yeah. Boy, out of the gate, that John Hughes, 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, what was the next one?
Weird Science.
Yeah. It's so impressive.
Yeah, and he'd already written
Then he,
Mr. Mom, and
Vacation.
Then he Singles.
And National Lampoon.
I think, too.
Singles, Cameron Crowe.
That's Cameron
but
Crowe.
he wrote it, or he was a part of it somehow.
Is he really?
Something, I think.
I don't think so.
Somebody's Google it, and you can tell me I'm wrong.
She's having a
But
baby.
I thought he was a part of it.
She's having a baby. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
All great soundtracks, by the way. She's having a baby. Great soundtrack.
How amazing were his soundtracks?
Pretty in Pink's great soundtrack.
Yeah.
Thompson Twins.
Yeah.
Wish You Were Here at that moment when she walks out and Jake Ryan goes, hey, and she goes, me? And he goes, yeah, you.
So
now
good.
You're now you're
So
really
good.
in the
Singles is
Karen
Cameron
chair.
Crowe.
What's that?
Singles is Cameron Crowe.
But did he write
No,
it?
no.
He didn't have anything to do with Singles, and that's okay.
I think you're
It
thinking of
reminded
Fast
me
Times,
of him.
maybe.
Yeah.
It's Cameron Crowe wrote.
Which is also Cameron Crowe.
All right, I'm wrong. I thought he had something to do with it, but maybe he was just on the set.
That's okay. That's why we have Jamie here.
Eclipses? Was that him? All right.
All right, what's the...
The elliptical.
Hey, let's play a little game here. When does the movie They Came Together come out?
It's
Is
out.
that the
It's a trick
reunion of
question.
Grease?
It's out. It's a trick question.
No. I don't know. It's Friday.
They came together. Is that Grease? We go together, and then it's
We
they
go
came together.
together like
Jamie, do you
Amy
know?
Poehler
Without
and,
looking it up?
Oh, it's not the sequel to Grease.
Why does no one
They
know what
came
this movie
together
is? Do you know what this
on
movie
Friday.
is?
Yeah.
They came together.
I only
They
know
came
from seeing an Us
together
magazine
like
that
Paul Rudd.
Amy Poehler and Paul Rudd are in New York in the fall throwing leaves at each other because it was rumored that they did it.
Ooh.
Are they...
It's kind of exciting.
It was during that movie,
Are
I
they people
believe,
too?
that
Is
she
that the article
split
said?
with her husband.
Oh.
But I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying that's what Us magazine said.
Has anybody seen a commercial for this movie?
Yeah.
You have?
Really?
Yeah.
Have
I
you
haven't
seen a
seen it.
billboard for it?
I don't think so.
Poster.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Now wait. If you went to the internet, if you saw it on the internet, it doesn't count. Have you seen a TV commercial or a trailer at a theater?
Yeah.
You have.
Yeah, it was on Comedy Central the other night.
Okay.
They did a trailer for
but
it.
not a theater.
Flyer at a bus stop. No?
So why is that? Why do you
Bench.
think that is?
Bench
They
ad.
know
Question.
it's
Well-
bad. They're
well-
not going to put money
Wait,
in
let's
it?
listen to it.
Business card on your windshield.
We
anything.
haven't. I haven't seen shit, and it's this Friday
Let's listen to it for a second.
or tomorrow.
If you love stories,
You like fiction books? I never met anyone else who likes fiction. That is too funny.
and if you love falling in love, then you will love this love story.
Hey, you look different.
Really? You think so?
You've got Groucho glasses on.
You noticed.
Like it's a
Oh,
spoof of
boy.
romantic
No, it's a
comedies.
spoof. It's a
spoof of a romantic comedy.
The way that Hot
mean, that-
American Summer from the same director
Yeah,
was a
it's David
spoof of
Wayne.
the summer teen sex comedy.
so that those lines aren't cheesy. They're meant to be cheesy. Like you like fiction, I like fiction.
Down to the
Right.
guy doing this.
Yeah,
also
exactly.
meant
Got
to be
that
cheesy.
guy too.
So, do you think it's going to be that they purposely didn't advertise because, boom, they're going to hit you with a great
I don't
move?
think so. I think it's getting dumped, which is a shame. I mean, you don't open it against Transformers and
Well,
expect
it
a lot.
looks like a single joke premise that I'm sure I like David Wayne. I'm sure they nail, but it does look like one of those ones that might not test well because it is a straight up parody, like calling it out constantly. The relationship comedy parody.
I really can see Paul Rudd in a leading man role for a romantic comedy. I just don't see her as one.
I have a little trouble with that too.
And it's not that I don't find her sexy. I find her funny and sexy and cute, but I don't necessarily want to see her. Oh, I hope she gets that guy.
Yeah,
Go!
but this is like the Naked Gun version of that.
Yeah.
Like I think I see her in that.
Yeah.
I think that's perfect for Amy Poehler. But you're right. Like that's sort of like I don't want to see her in the Jennifer
Bridget Jones.
Aniston.
But I
yeah.
think America wants that, like, oh my God, I hope she gets him. And oh my God, he's a jerk. He's going to come around.
And I hope she still has enough UCB punk in her to not do that.
Yes.
To not, I mean, she's a real punk back in the day.
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
she's
Oh,
a,
yeah.
I mean, they UCB ripped that shit up back in the day, and so I hope that Amy Poehler is still all intact.
Right, but we didn't give it a full preview though.
Even though she's
because
an American sweetheart,
not much has
America's
happened
sweetheart.
Well, Tina Fey did work with Paul Rudd in, what was that?
Exactly.
Yeah, neither of them should have done that movie. But anyway,
Admission. No.
Abduction.
I didn't want to see either of them in that shower
whatever
scene.
it was.
You see what?
I didn't want to see either of them in that shower scene. They're showering next to each other, but there's
Yeah.
like a low wall, and I was like, I don't want to see his parts or hers part. I'm an awkward voyeur in this scene right now.
Yeah.
Chemistry at all there with us?
No. There's no chemistry like the Molly Ringwald and Jake Ryan.
Yeah, boy, what happened to Jake Ryan?
He's a carpenter in
Yeah.
like what, Minnesota? But that was like the rumor from like 10
No,
years
that's
ago.
well, yeah. I mean,
Who knows if he's still a carpenter?
But isn't that interesting to just like to get? I mean, and you're going to be known forever. 16 Candles, but now he's a woodworker in
That makes him
Wisconsin or something.
sexier.
Hey, let's get to a round of this.
What did you see this week?
Yeah.
So what did you see this week?
I saw Tom Cruise's movie, but I don't remember the name.
Edge of Tomorrow!
Yeah. And Neighbors.
Edge of Tomorrow!
For the last...
Tom Cruise!
Going back in time!
Tom Cruise! Yeah!
Back in time again!
Which should be just Transformers. If you have aliens, and that's cool, I'm all about the aliens.
That's cool.
Why do they need to be metal and they're always...
Those aliens are cool in that movie, don't you think?
They're cool. I just
They're
don't think
scary.
that they're not my aliens.
Yeah.
In my head, I feel like they're a little bit more of like spiritual beings that look at you and stare at you.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, I'm a squid, monster metal.
Yeah.
So
amorphous.
Yeah.
I'm amorphous. Because that's what we design
Wait,
now.
you're talking about Transformers?
Yeah.
So how did the...
No, she's talking Edge of Tomorrow.
You don't like those aliens?
No, I say I want them to be more of, Shyamalanga Ding Dong.
You're talking E.T.
I want to be more of
Mac
like,
and Me?
Yeah, I'm walking on
Mac
a
and
long,
Me.
scary body. I don't know. I guess maybe I grew up with an alien being a certain way rather than like, or be like liquefied, but metal aliens don't get me as much.
Yeah.
Also, that whole Groundhog Day thing, I'm just sort of like, get on with it.
Oh, yeah? Well, then you must have hated the fuck out of that movie because
that's all it is.
That is the movie.
That's at least an hour and 15 minutes of that
That's
movie.
like 10 minutes in.
I
Enough
don't
of the
mind-
fucking Tom Cruise.
I don't mind Emily Blunt, but I do find a lot of her acting is a lot like, I'm hardly making a facial expression.
Well, she's in a Doug Liman movie, so he's
Wow.
cast well, I think.
Totally.
I think that's some facial expressions are mostly what happens a lot of times.
I'm going to see that again on Saturday. I enjoyed it.
I've seen it twice now.
I got to see it a
again?
second time. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot. There's a lot going on.
I would never see movie again unless it's a cult classic.
Yeah.
It's a freebie, so I'm going to go.
Oh.
You got a freebie.
Yeah.
It's rare to see, superhero movies I usually see twice in the theater. Although I'm behind this year. I haven't seen any of the superhero movies twice. And in fact, the only thing I've seen twice is Edge of Darkness. Now I feel bad about that.
Edge of Tomorrow. We do that all the time.
Edge of Darkness. Sorry, that's right. That's Mel Gibson's mailing address.
Right.
According to Steve Lewis. Edge of Darkness.
You know, wait, I got to tell you something I saw real quick. I saw Room 237, the documentary about
The Shining.
And it's been a big deal in here. Everyone's come in and talked about I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Is that the one?
It's not there to be liked, honestly.
Did a
There's some
museum
movies that
Not there to be
in LA that
entertaining
did
either.
a Kubrick thing. Is that what you're saying? Like it's
Someone found all these conspiracy theories hidden within the movie The Shining. And they made a really bad documentary about it. Even if it's interesting stuff, it's just bland and poorly delivered. They'll show scene after scene from the movie, and if it's a long explanation, they just slow the scene down to take the time to tell the whole story they're telling. And they should get actors to tell these stories.
What?
Alec Baldwin should host it or something like that.
My
and do all the
friend
voiceover.
stayed in the hotel inspired by The Shining. I was like, was
Sweet.
it haunted? Yeah, and she's like, no.
When they talked about how they made the movie
Just a place.
and choices that Kubrick made to make the movie interesting and
Holodome.
cool and off-kilter, I enjoyed all that. But then when they got... A lot of the theories are really far-fetched. Like,
Well,
Kubrick's trying to
but
tell
that's-
you
but that's
how
the
the
point.
Indians were killed by the Americans.
But that's
because
the
there's
point.
a picture of an Indian in a hallway.
Yeah, but that's the point of that whole documentary is
Right.
to draw these things out and show, quote unquote, the evidence. So I mean, that's
do that really
that's the
badly.
entire purpose. You know, I about a half hour into that movie, I realized I haven't seen a single narrator on screen.
No.
And I realized that's not the documentary that's going to do that, and I really like that. And I think that helps the case. I don't want to see what the guy who thinks that this scene is about the fact that Kubrick directed the moon landings, and this is his apology, and here's the number that adds to the numerology to show you that he directed the moon landings. I don't want to see that guy. So I think I kind of thought I like some of the choices.
It was more
in
interesting when Andrew DeWitt was in here talking about it than that movie played it out. So he got me excited to see it. I mean, I wanted to see it anyway, but I was like, maybe we should just finally watch that. Nah, didn't do it for me.
What'd you see?
I saw How to Train Your Dragon 2, and what was the other new release?
Jersey Boys?
No.
The Rover?
No. What did I see? Oh, shit, now I can't
Think
remember.
Like a Man
And I
2.
wanted to talk about
Think
it.
Like a Man 2? Yeah, you didn't see that?
I wanted to talk
The other woman?
22 Jump Street.
The other
Yes!
woman. Oh.
Oh, that's right, because we haven't we recorded one show early, so now it's been a week and a half. Yes, 22 Jump Street. This is the one I want to talk about. This movie is really great.
Really?
It really is. And now, even if it's not exactly your cup of tea in terms of comedy, I think you've got to admire how much... it's almost a clinic on what's wrong with some comedies. They squeeze jokes into everything. But also, they take all their plot points. You can see that they just laid all their plot points out for their dumb plot that they don't even give that much of a fuck about. It's just there to be a MacGuffin, right? To get one thing. And then, but every step that they have to do in order to solve the crime that nobody gives a shit about, including them, including us, and it's acknowledged, it's perfect. Every scene is its own whole bit. They write a whole bit and scene and make that a sketch that encompasses that shit, where they have to dress this way or do this way, and they have attention. I mean, every single scene. It really is the least lazy comedy I've seen in a long time.
I liked 21 Jump Street movie, but I found in the previews of 22... the like, you're grabbing my nuts on a helicopter ride, and he's like trying to find keys. I thought, oh, really?
Well, that is one joke out of 250. You know, I mean, it is just impressive that, I mean, they got all the shit falling on the truck and stuff, and they have their stunts and stuff like that. But there is a point in this movie where I was already enjoying it, but there is a scene that is so Blazing Saddles, but the Blazing Saddles that people don't remember, but is one of the most brilliant parts of that, which is at the end when it becomes a movie and things like that. They sort of step out of the movie in this great. Well, I'll blow it. There's so much in the movie that they do a scene where they have to get in the chase. Okay, so Ice Cube is their boss, right? And he says, spoiler alert. He's a rapper. Spoiler alert. He says they're running out of budget. The program is running out of budget, but really what they're saying is also the movie's running out of budget, so we got to wrap this up. So it sort of does that Naked Gun stepping out of itself thing without going too far. And so then they have this final chase scene, and they end up in a golf cart, whereas the other guys are in like a nice car or whatever because they don't have much of a budget. And so as they're driving after them, they're like, where should we go? And there's these signs that say like, go left for the chem and robotics lab or go right for the whatever. And each one is like a budget choice. And they're like, no, go left, it's cheaper or whatever. And then they end up going the other way, and they're like, all right, we'll just go to an aerial shot, and then they go above so that we don't see anything that happens in it. I mean, it's just like,
oh, that's good.
I mean, they just do like clever stuff where they step out of it, and I don't know. It's not lazy. It's wonderful to see for a comedy.
I was telling you that one of my favorite comedies of all time is Lost in America with Albert Brooks, and I've analyze that movie because I love it so much that it's a bunch of scenes, just like you said. So I think some of the best comedies are like that. We got to get this accomplished in this scene. How can we do it outside of just saying some stupid dialogue? Let's do a whole scene where we got to get a whole bunch accomplished. So and you can break down Lost in America to like 20 good scenes. The movie is just 20 great scenes. Any one of them you perform, you're going to be
and
entertained.
Each thing is its own thing, and it is a satisfying. And
I don't remember anything that happened in How to Train Your Dragon 2. I saw it, but I don't remember.
I'm a big fan of mythology expansion, so that touched all my buttons.
Yeah.
Mythology?
Did I say that right? Yeah, mythology.
It touched your Zeus.
All right, listen, I think this is going to be too...
You got the touch.
It's going to wrap up another movie showcast, everybody.
Could that be a drumstick turn song?
Oh, what? I got one more question for Jill Benjamin.
Yeah.
By the way, did we introduce Jill?
The very beginning.
She's just that girl that
we found out her favorite movie.
That was the best. What's your favorite movie ever? A question I meant to ask you in person as a person.
Yes.
But I'm going to ask you on here because I'm very curious. Well, actually, let me go back to. I was going to say this off of Tina Fey. Now, Jill is a Chicago comedian, improviser, and that's how I met you. And I remember at the time when we were young improvisers and doing our thing, and you were improvising with Seth Meyers, and I was improvising with we were sketch group Schadenfreude, and we'd run into each other here and there. And at that time,
here and there, we ran into each other in Edinburgh. We ran into each other in New York.
Solid year, yeah.
L.A.
Yeah.
Chicago. That was enough.
Yeah. Quite everywhere we went, you would go, and also Dodd would be there, right?
Yes.
The audio guy from the what is now the bar at the Improv?
PSNBC. I don't know.
PSNBC.
I don't know what it was. Yeah. No.
Okay. So at the time, you would see people you'd know from Main Stage, and you'd watch them go on to something. You'd be like, oh my God, Tina Fey from Main Stage is now on Saturday Night Live.
Right.
I think it's so interesting. We've now progressed to a point where a comedy partner of yours now has his own TV show that you went and visited him. How was your visit to New York to see
Fantastic.
Seth Meyers?
So cool.
On a show that is like his with his name and shit.
It's not just him doing it. It's,
And it's
Peter Gross
Pete
is
Gross.
writing, and John Lutz, our friend who
amazing.
we performed with, and these people
And
are
it's all
writing
these
for him.
people.
And they're so happy, and they're so great, and I'm so excited for them.
It's so great.
All support and like in awe. And sitting in an audience, as you do in Edinburgh, where all people are doing is performing in small theaters, and you're sweaty and you're hot, and you kind of wish you had a beer in your hand, and watching them come out onto stage.
Couldn't get a beer in your hand in Amsterdam?
No, but at the show, they handed me a glass bottle of wine, and I do a bit that I did not expect, as you saw. But anyway, it was so fun to feel like I'm a New Yorker or I'm someone from Australia. I'm just an outsider here, and I played the role of just an audience member, not a performer, and I just loved it.
Yeah.
And I said to him after the show, I said, when you're on TV, you are welcome into my living room, but when I'm at your live audience, it's like we're in your living room.
Yeah.
And it's very intimate, and he comes out before the show, he says hello to the audience, does a couple of jokes, and he's just him. And he's so approachable, and I think that's why he's so successful at what he does.
So great. That's awesome.
So that's what's
Love it.
fun, and it's fun to see all of our friends succeed.
It is a
and
blast
to
to watch.
have two fucking friends on Time Magazine within like 4 months of each other.
Crazy.
Jordan Peele and Keegan.
Yeah.
And Seth, it's bizarre.
It's bizarre.
It's the word is surreal, and I hate that word on the Oscars, overused, but it's so weird.
But the world would feel unfair if Keegan, Jordan, Seth, Jason Sudeikis, and Jack McBrayer weren't famous, right?
Yes,
there would be an unfairness to the system if those people weren't making money being as funny as they are.
Who was Jonah Hill? Who, in that whole Judd Apatow world, they're the funny people that they wonder what they would be doing if they weren't famous.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, totally. Anyway.
Well, as a friend of mine once said, Nicole Sullivan, she goes, "We are friends with the funniest people in the world." And I was like, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah, I mean, they've all won awards." It's proven.
They're accepted.
Yeah.
Where can we find you now? What should we plug of yours? Twitter handle, show going on?
If you are 5 to 11 years old, you can see me in Austin Alley, which is a Disney show.
I have not
and
seen
if you're
it.
older
With
than
your
that,
husband,
you're
right?
creepy and weird.
With your husband, right?
Yeah, with my husband.
The lovely and talented John Henson.
John Henson. Wipeout premiered just this past week,
Oh, yeah,
so
that's
keep
right.
watching that on ABC. I'll keep our mortgage going. And so, yeah, and I do a lot of commercials, and I just did The Middle, so you can see me often playing a nurse on
I saw Nurse a bunch of times on IMDb.
I have been a nurse over and over again, and then I just played a suburban mom, which I feel like is a nice transition from nurse. I've worn scrubs that hid me when I was 28 weeks pregnant to when I was not showing at all, so...
When the nurse comes home, she's a suburban mom, right? Let's be honest.
True.
Yeah.
When
Okay,
the sexy
so
nurse comes home.
follow us at The Movie Guys and on Facebook.com/The Movie Guys, YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Vine, LinkedIn, all that shit. Thanks to Jill Benjamin.
Yes.
Thanks to Jamie Clark-Yelvington for minding the board, chiming in when we screw
And
up.
being a very big Clue fan.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was the greatest day.
We're going to talk about 10 minutes after this.
That scream was
And
so
Tim is
great when you
little.
said Clue.
I know.
I never thought that day would come. I thought it was just me. I
Join
thought I
my
was
forces.
alone.
I will introduce you to
You can come out of
others.
the shadows, Jamie.
I don't even.
But that's a first for the show. Not only your favorite movie, mounted a production of it, talked to
Yes.
all the cast members. I mean, I
There's
feel like
only one movie you can do for me that I could do a stage reading and have it be pulled off is a farce. Like, bring back your Neil Simon. Bring back that Jack Tripper of like, what mishap over here? And so that's all wrapped in Clue.
And thanks also to Steve Scholes for his writing contributions to the show every week. And remember, you can find everything we're up to at themovieguys.net. We'll be back next week with a huge show. 3 new films, including Melissa McCarthy and Tammy, and guest Christopher Lennertz, the composer for movies like Think Like a Man 2 and Horrible Bosses, and the upcoming Horrible Bosses 2.
And Melissa McCarthy for putting her husband in every film now.
He directed the last one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so look at
really?
that.
Wow.
Look what he's doing.
More bang for that household.
Yeah. We will
Somebody's
see you
getting banged.
at the next show.
And as Paul pointed out, Transformers has come full circle because Mark Wahlberg sings this in Boogie Nights.
Yeah, I wish I had that version.
Yeah.